Imagine the most powerful court in America once being powerless. Sounds unbelievable, right? But back in 1789, when the first Supreme Court was created, it had no building, just 6 justices, and barely any authority. On September 24th, it all started with the Judiciary Act, and no one could have guessed how much power this court would one day hold. The Judiciary Act created not only the Supreme Court, but also lower district and circuit courts to build a legal system from the ground up. Washington quickly nominated 6 justices, including John Jay, as the very first Chief Justice. Imagine being one of the first people to define how justice itself would work in a brand new nation. At first, the court wasn't the powerhouse we think of today. In fact, the justices spent much of their early years riding circuit, traveling around the country to hear cases. The Supreme Court didn't even have its own building until 1935. It borrowed space in New York and later in Washington, D.C. Still, those early years laid the foundation for landmark decisions to come. Though the first Supreme Court heard just a handful of cases, it set the precedent for interpreting the Constitution, resolving disputes between states, and defining federal authority. Today, the Supreme Court has 9 justices and holds incredible influence over American life, from civil rights to presidential elections. But back in 1789, it all started small: 6 men, no building, and an uncertain role in the young republic. Follow, like, and share for more interesting tidbits and stories from history.